love, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Angelica. I do a bunch of videos about natural hair, growing your natural hair long, a little bit of skincare and makeup here and there. So if that seems like something you might be interested in, consider subscribing. The subscription button is right down there, as well as the bell icon. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post. Without further ado, let's start this video. This is my first ever Q&A style video on my channel. I have done a get to know me tag in the past, so this is not my first get to know me tag, but that was a long time ago when I had I don't know, 500 subscribers or something. And I know there's so many more of you guys. I've gained so many new subscribers and you basically know nothing about me. So I thought now would be a perfect time to do a get to know me tag. So I'm going to be answering some questions that you guys have asked me on YouTube, because I did put up like a little picture and ask you guys to ask any questions that you might want to ask. And I also put a question on my Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, my name is Angie B with 3 underscores. I'll put my @ name here so you guys can see it. I'm on Instagram and I mostly post like beauty, skincare content on there. So if you ever want to know like what makeup I'm wearing or anything like that, my Instagram always has those details, so you can check there. So those are the questions I'll be answering, and then if we still have time, I'll get into some questions that people just ask me in the comments or in person the most. Okay, so this is the question I put on my YouTube. I think you can see it from there, and the questions are underneath. So I'll just be answering some of those questions. Sorry, my screen protector is cracked. But anyway, let me answer some of these questions. So I'll start with the first one, and it's, why did you decide to go natural, length or strength? Okay, so the reason why I decided to go natural is because, first of all, I had never seen my curl pattern before, like almost ever. I've seen baby pictures of myself as well, but my hair was always like in braids or just like combed up into like some kind of afro or something like that. I had no idea what my curl pattern was like. My hair is a completely different texture than my parents, and my brother also has a completely different hair texture than me, and he has like, I don't know, maybe like 3C kind of hair, and mine is like type 4 hair and not silky like his or my mom's. It's like a completely different texture, and I had been relaxed for basically my whole life. I had gone on a healthy relaxed hair journey, and I started to see lots of hair growth. My hair was doing very well, but then I felt like my hair started to plateau a little bit. And then I started seeing, well, there was a wave of everybody doing the big chop and going natural. And I'm not one of those people who gets easily influenced to just be like, oh, everybody's cutting my hair, let me do the same. No, I started to get a little bit more intrigued. Like, maybe I'd like to see a little bit more of my curl pattern. And then when I started seeing lots of videos of girls like straightening their natural hair and it looked just like relaxed hair, or doing like curls, and then when they wore their hair curly, it was like big and full. And then I decided, I think the reason why I wanted to go natural is, first of all, yes, I wanted to have healthy hair. I wanted my hair to be long because I've always liked long hair. Like I've just liked longer hair on myself personally. I love short hair on some other people and I think they look amazing. Like if you guys know Symphony, she cut her hair. I think she's cut her hair a fefew times. Like she looks really good with long hair, but she looks really good with short hair as well. And I just don't think I'm one of those people who can pull off short hair. And for some reason I like long hair, so I wanted longer hair. But mostly I wanted the versatility. I wanted to be able to wear my hair in whatever curl pattern I had. I wanted to be able to wear those curls out and have my hair be like huge. Like I like the huge afro, like big curls. And then when I wanted my hair to be straight, I wanted to be able to straighten it and then be like, you know what? I'm tired of straight hair. I think I want curls again, and just be able to wash it than to be stuck with one hairstyle. I think I stayed natural for so long. I stayed relaxed for so long because it's what I knew. It's the kind of hair that I always had for the rest of my life. So anything other than that was just like a big change for me. The next question is, how old are you, and is YouTube your only source of income? If no, how do you manage work and YouTube? And what did you study back in college? Okay, so those are a few questions. So I'll start with the first one. How old are you? So I would say, how old am I? I'm not as young as I could be, but not as old as you think. If you watch Teen Wolf, then you got that reference.
How old were you? How old are you now?
Not as young as we could have been, but not as old as you might think.
Okay, that was frustratingly vague.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm 26 years old.
That's how we answer people.
How you measure in years.
All right, I'm just gonna drop it.
I think when I'm wearing makeup, I look my age. But when I'm not wearing makeup, everyone always thinks I'm way younger. I struggled with this. And also, I'm really short. I'm really short. So every single time when I was in university, when I would be going to the airport, they would always, like, when it's time to fill in that little form, the people at the airport would always be like, no, it's fine. Like, you don't have to fill that form in if you're under 16. And I'm like, I'm in my third year of university. I'm not 16. And literally just last week, I went to go and find out how much it was to enroll in a certain gym once it opens, because it's kind of near my house. They gave me the price and they were like, yeah, but like for students, it's this much. And I'm like, okay, but what if you're not a student? They were like, oh yeah, it's more expensive by like 100. But like for students, you can pay this much. And I'm like, I was actually working. I'm not a student, okay? So I'm not gonna lie, I like it. At first, it used to annoy me when I was much younger, because you know, when you're younger, you want to be older, and when you're older, you want to be younger. But I have no problems with saying my age. I don't think there's a problem with being 10 years older than the people watching you or younger. I think whether I tell you my real age or not, it's my age. So I might as well just tell you. Okay, so is YouTube your only source of income? It is a marketing job. It was like marketing for a mall, and I was also marketing for other malls, but not necessarily physically being there all the time. And I enjoyed the job, but it wasn't necessarily like my dream job. I've always been into more like media, television, and that kind of stuff. Marketing was like close enough and it paid well enough at the time. But right now, YouTube is my only source of income. What's the date today? I have only been self-employed for about 10 days, and once I get settled in, like maybe in the next 2 months or something, I'm going to try my best to try and branch out and do other things. I also want to start coaching people on how to use YouTube, because that is a big passion of mine. I actually started a second channel, so I think I can link it at the end of this video, and maybe I'll comment the name of my channel in the comment section below. So if you want any YouTube tips, like how to grow on YouTube, how to gain subscribers and that kind of stuff, then you could possibly be interested in watching that. But yes, I got to the point where I could make my monthly salary in a single week, and it just wasn't making sense for me. I felt like I could put more effort into something I truly love, which is YouTube and creating content for you guys. So, you know, watch those ads, because it's now my only source of income. The next one is how do you manage work and YouTube? So I've only been working at home. I've only been self-employed for 11 days, like I said. But how I would manage it before is I would always batch my content. So I would film like a month worth of videos in one weekend, and then throughout the weeks I would just be editing them. But I felt like I couldn't put enough effort as possible. Like, I didn't have enough space to be creative and think of good ideas, or even do like a get to know me tag. Like, you guys ask me questions and I never even thought of making this video because I just didn't have enough time. My job was far away from me, and I couldn't afford to drive there, because basically half of my salary would be gone because it's so far just from the driving. Also, I don't know how to drive, but let's not get into that right now. I have a phobia of driving, so I haven't learned yet, but I think it's going away. I'm willing to learn now. But anyway, it used to take me an hour and a half to get to work. I would get on public transport, so it would take me 2 buses to get to work, 2 buses to get home, so that would be 4 buses. And once I got serious and I said, I want to go full time on YouTube, I want content creation to be my main job, I just really pushed myself. I was always tired. I would go to work, come home, get straight into editing, go to bed, just like that. It was like a cycle. I was working really, really hard, but I did manage it. So if you might be thinking of starting a YouTube channel, it's not impossible to manage a YouTube channel and go to work at the same time. But you also need to weigh how much are you getting paid? Are you making any money on YouTube yet? And that kind of thing. So I only left once I felt like I was financially stable to the point where I could easily make more money than I was making at my current job on my YouTube channel. So that's when I did that. And then what did I study back in college? I went to University of Botswana. My dad is a lecturer and he was lecturing there. So me going to the university he was lecturing at was basically free. for me to go to university there. So I went to university at the University of Botswana, and then I did one semester at UPenn, University of Pennsylvania. I managed to do like a student exchange program, so that was freaking awesome. That's what actually got me into YouTube while I was there. So that's what I did. I studied media studies and I majored in public relations and television. And then as electives, I took an acting class at UPenn, and I did a little bit of marketing, and I did film class. So under my television, I had like film courses, and those were really, really awesome. Honestly, doing film classes kind of ruined TV for you just a little bit. They ruin like series and movies because I can't watch it without analyzing it. I can usually predict what's gonna happen next, and I'm always analyzing like what's that doing in the background. Because I did have an assignment once where I had to write like a 15-page essay on 5 minutes of a movie. So you know that literally every single thing is there for a reason. Like if there's a photograph hanging in the background, like every single thing is there for a reason. So that's actually another hobby of mine, watching movies and like analyzing them and doing reactions and stuff like that. Like I love doing that. So if you're interested in me maybe like talking about movies, like 365, what is it, 365 days and those kinds of things. If you'd like me to just talk about movies maybe while I'm doing my hair or makeup or series or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below and I would definitely do that. Next is, are you Zambian and what country do you live in? The answer is yes, I am Zambian. And what country do I live in? I still live in Zambia right now. And then I wasn't born here. I was born in England. And I came to Zambia when I was 5 or 6. Yes, I know. I'm just going to answer this question now because if there are other Zambians watching this channel, they're probably going to ask me the same question I used to get asked almost every single day when people would come to my office. Hi, what's your name? Angelica. Oh, you must not be Zambian. No, I'm Zambian. Okay, but are you like Zambian? Like, okay, like, so where exactly are you from? So I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I just want to make things clear about how I identify myself, and something that I actually learned in university in one of my psychology classes about identification, which is that everybody identifies based on their environment. Right now, I am in Zambia. I've lived here my whole life. I identify as mixed race. And if you are in a country where like a very high percentage of the population is not mixed race, for example, like America, I think a high percentage of the population that is black is also mixed race and they all identify as black. But if you're in a country like Zambia where when you're mixed race, you will notice, or if you don't notice, then people will tell you. So if you're a Zambian and you're like me and you happen to be mixed, then you've probably experienced this thing where if you don't go to an international school at one point, you've been the only mixed race person in your entire classroom or your entire high school. So if everybody else is just black and you're the only person who looks different, you're not going to identify the same. And like if I went anywhere into a room full of just only like, I don't know what I should say, what, fully black people, and I say like, oh, like I'm black too, like I'm black just like you, their reaction would probably be like, oh, she's probably American. Back to what I was talking about from my psychology class. Right now in Zambia, I identify as mixed race, and other people would identify me as mixed race or colored, although it doesn't really apply here. If I went to South Africa, however, I would just be colored. Everyone would identify me as colored. Every time I've been to South Africa, whenever I'm at a mall or something like that, people always speak to me in Afrikaans because they think I speak Afrikaans and I look like I speak Afrikaans, but I don't. I think Zambians just use it here because of the proximity to South Africa, and South Africa say colored, so we say it too as well here. So I would either be like mixed race or colored. If I go to Botswana, however, I would be white. Quick story time. I'm never going to forget this. So, on my first day of communications class, under my media studies, I sat next to this girl. She was actually sat behind me, and this girl sat behind me, and she tapped me on my shoulder, and she said something to me in Setswana, and I couldn't understand what she was saying. So I was like, "Oh, sorry, I don't understand what you're saying." And then she was like, "Oh, where are you from?" Then I was like. Just the thought of this makes me laugh. So I was like, oh, I'm Zambian. And her reaction literally made me jump. She literally went, "Hey, this is, including the accent, this is exactly what she said to me. I have never seen a white Zambian before." And I was so confused. I don't even know if I said anything. Like I didn't know what to say, and I was just like, okay, I know what I did say was, "I'm not white." And she was just like, "Okay, yeah, anyway, whatever. I've never seen a Zambian who looks like you." And I was just like, okay. It was just like very awkward. But then when I spent more time there, I discovered that, like, calling anybody who's light skinned is addressed as white. So even when they would be like, "Oh yeah, that white girl in class is the one who actually got this, like, the highest grade," and I'm like, "We don't have any exchange students this year." I'm like, "Okay, maybe you should show me the person. I don't know if I know who you're talking about." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the girl." And I'm like, "That's the white person?" So, I'm just trying to explain, like, if I was in Zambia, I'm colored or mixed. If I'm in South Africa, I'm colored. If I'm in Botswana, I'm white. If I'm in England, I'm mixed race. If I'm in America, I'm black. And I'm fine with all that. Like, I don't care how other people identify me, but I identify myself as mixed race, as being in England, and then coming to Zambia. That is the only way I identify. I'm Zambian, but I'm also part British and Greek. So my dad is 100% Zambian, and then my mom is, I don't know what the percentages are, but she's part Zambian and then Greek and British. So if you're wondering why I don't look Zambian, that's why. But I'm Zambian. My passport is Zambian. Okay, so the next one is, how long did it take to grow your hair and what length do you want your hair to be? And then, yeah, she just goes into talking about rice water. Anyway, so how long did it take me to grow my hair? I've been natural for a year and a half. Insert a picture here of what my hair looks like currently. So I guess it's taken a year and a half plus some change because I transitioned into natural first, and then I did my big chop. So I guess like 2 years maybe, or just slightly over 2 years. How long do you want your hair to be? I want my hair to be as long as this wig. Now here's the thing that I'm stuck with. I think when I think of my hair length, I think of it straight. Because usually when you measure your hair, you stretch it. But then I think maybe my ideal length might actually be past my butt, because I want my hair to be at least like mid-back length, shoulders maybe, when it's curly. So if it's like, my hair shrinks a lot, so if I want it to be this long when it's curly, then it might be past my butt if I stretch it. I don't know. The next one is, what is the most irritating thing about natural hair and what is the best thing about it? Okay, so the most irritating thing about natural hair is how long it takes to do it, especially if you have as much hair as I do. Sometimes I'll keep thinking like, "Oh, it's not going to take that long today." And then I do it, and then the detangling and the deep conditioning and the washing and the all that. But then at the end, you're like, "Oh, it looks great." But while you're doing it, that's so annoying. And then the second really annoying thing about natural hair is that when you do a wash and go, every single time is different. Like, one time you do it and you're like, "I have done the best wash and go ever. I think I've got it down packed now. Like, every time I do my hair, it's going to come out super great." And even if you use the same products and the same tools, there's a high chance that the next time you do your hair, it will still come out completely different. So natural hair is unpredictable. Now, what do I like the best about it? Versatility. You can have big hair today, straight hair tomorrow. Like, you can do so many different things with it. I like that natural hair is not necessarily easier to manage, but it's less delicate than if you were to completely like bleach your hair or relax your hair. There's other things you have to factor in, like, okay, I have to do this for color, I have to do this for breakage, and for the bleaching I have to use like this purple toning shampoo so that my hair stays blonde, or I have to make sure when my hair is in between stages of relaxing and being natural, I should be delicate when I'm combing my hair at the demarcation point, and all that kind of stuff. All that goes out of the window, and it's just super easy. You can just go ahead and do your thing. It's just the time thing. So I think those are some of the things I love about being natural. Also, it's just like naturally the hair that grows out of your head. So once you get used to it and you actually fall in love with it, it's awesome. Okay, how old are you and what country in Africa are you from? I've already answered this. 26, Zambia. Um, where do you live? Zambia, Lusaka to be specific. Are you married and do you have children? Funny. I wish I could have taken a video of how hard my dad laughed when someone asked him, who hadn't seen him in a long time. Someone was like, "Oh, your daughter must be so grown up now. Is she like married with children?" He laughed so hard, like it was the biggest joke he's ever heard because he knows me well. I am not married. Um, I'm single. I don't have a boyfriend. Um, am I looking for one? I don't think I've ever been looking. Probably why I haven't really found them, but I'm one of the like I don't think I need a man. I don't think anyone needs one. Do I want one? Sure. Yeah, men are awesome, but I don't need someone to like buy me wigs and buy me makeup and whatever. Like I work, I'm making money. I like to work hard for my money. I like to be able to buy my own house, to be able to fend for myself and do whatever I want before I get married. So no, I'm not looking to get married anytime soon. I do not want to have kids outside marriage. Yeah. It's just not a necessity for me. If you're not giving me love, if you're not adding value to my life and you're just here to cause drama and waste my time, I'm not interested. I'm not one of those people who feels like I have to have a boyfriend just to have a boyfriend. Another one says, "What ethnicity are you?" Again, well, I guess my nationality is Zambian. Ethnicity, Zambian, British, Greek. But I'm more, like genetically, I'm more Zambian. I think I answered that. Did you take biology as a major in school? Because your videos are very informative. Um, well, I did take biology in a major in high school. Biology is one of those tricky classes because it was one of my favorite classes and I thought I was really good at it. But then when it's time to write like exams, I will discover I don't actually know as much as I should have. So yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I really enjoyed biology. I like to know how things work. I hated math, loved English, also, high school was not for me. I think mainly because I don't like people telling me what to do. And in high school, usually, like, even answering questions, you basically just have to answer what the teacher told you, not necessarily if you believe it's true or if it makes sense or not. Whereas in university, you can do whatever you want as long as it's factual and true, which is why in high school, I was like a slightly above average student. But in university, I was like straight A's. I was having fun. It was like awesome. I'm going to answer the questions you guys asked on Instagram. Okay, so Instagram. Would you date a broke guy who seems to have good future plans? You know who you are, who asked this question. I know this person personally. Would you date a broke guy who seems to have future good plans? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. You don't have to seem like you have good future plans. You actually have to have good future plans because I'm a very goal oriented person. I am, as my friends call me, the manifestation queen. Anything that I set my mind to or that I plan to get, I actually do it and I get it. It's not because I'm a brat or because I'm manipulative. It's because I work hard for what I want. So if I say I'm going to do a certain thing, get a certain thing, even if I have not exactly complete control over it, I will find a way to get it and do that thing. And I have to be with someone else who is similar, who's a go-getter. Now, I make my own money, so you having money doesn't necessarily matter to me. But if you are a person who's comfortable with being broke, like, this is just how I am. Like, most of my family is kind of like this. I'm just comfortable being here. I'm not interested because I'm not comfortable with just being broke. To enjoy your life, whether you like it or not, money is a neutral thing. It is not good or bad. The person who has the money is the one who's good or bad. So I have no problems with saying I like money. I do like money. I like to have it. I like to make it. I like the feeling of working hard to get your money. So if you are a person who sees money as evil or your goals are just dreams, you're just like, I think I'm going to do this, but you don't actually get anything done. No, I'm not interested. But if you're a goal-oriented person who just happens to be broke now, but you're working hard, you're doing things, you're implementing plans, and I can see that you're actually going somewhere, I have no problem with that. I don't need you to buy me hair, to buy me anything. I can do that for myself. Just do what you're supposed to do, be trustworthy, love me, and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't mind if you're broke. Just have actual goals. Okay, next one. Same person. Would you date a Zambian guy? Well, if you are not a traditional Zambian man, or even just like very African, like super traditional, yes, I would. Now, the reason I'm saying super traditional is I have not grown up in a traditional household. That is not me. I'm not going to kneel down when I bring you food. I'm not going to address you like you are my uncle. I am not your slave. I am not your maid. So if you are a sensible, modern man, and I don't mean a Western Zambian man, no, I just mean you treat your wife, your girlfriend as your equal, sure, I have no problem. However, if you expect me to be your maid and kneel down when I bring you food and address you as all those kinds of things, no. And if that kind of turned you off, you happen to be a Zambian man and you're watching and this turned you off and you're thinking, oh, I would never want to date her. That is good because I don't want to date you, so you can stay there. Are you currently in Zambia? How old are you? Are you in school? If so, what did you study? So I've answered all the rest of the questions. No, I am not in school. I studied media studies as I explained. I did want to venture in to get a master's degree, but now I'm thinking I might go into business since I'm kind of my own boss now, but we'll see. What is one thing you want to do before this year ends? This is my best friend. One thing you want to do before this year ends. I always have so many things I want to do. It's hard to pick one, but I think my one goal to do before this year ends is to get in the best shape of my life and get my flat stomach, get to look in the mirror and be like, I worked hard for that. I am happy about this because it's one of the things that almost every year I set out to do, but then I don't actually do it. So I think that is my one thing. And then professionally, or let me say on YouTube, I would love to hit 100,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to help me reach that goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers and you're not subscribed yet, please hit my face there to subscribe to the channel. Watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here. And if you'd like a part 2, ask more questions in the comment section below. And if there's any other video you'd like me to do, let me know and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!